In a quiet African village, where red earth roads curved between small clay houses and tall bamboo trees stretched towards the sky, two girls grew up side by side. Their names were Precious and Sylvia. From the time they were little, the villagers rarely saw one without the other. At sunrise, they walked together to the river, balancing clay pots on their heads while laughing and teasing each other. In the afternoon, they played beneath the wide branches of a mango tree, sharing stories and dreams about the future. But though they shared the same childhood, life would soon lead them down very different paths. One evening, as the sun painted the sky with deep orange and gold, the villagers gathered under a tall bamboo tree. There, an elderly woman named Mama Nkem, known throughout the village for her wisdom, often shared stories and advice with the young ones. Precious and Sylvia sat quietly among the children, listening. Mama Nkem's voice was soft, but every word carried weight. She looked at the girls and said, "Children, one day you will grow up and choose the people who will walk beside you in life. When that day comes, do not let shiny things blind your eyes." The children leaned closer as she continued. "A house may be filled with gold, but if the heart inside, it is cold, that house will never feel like a home. Choose someone who respects you, who listens to you, and who will stand beside you when the storms of life come." Precious and Sylvia listened carefully, though they did not yet understand how important those words would become. Years passed, and the girls grew into young women. Precious was admired by many. Her beauty was known throughout the village, and people often spoke of how lucky the man who would marry her would be. One day, a wealthy man from a neighboring village arrived at her family compound. He came with gifts, bags of yams, colorful fabrics, and shining coins. He spoke proudly of his land, his wealth, and the comfortable life he would give Precious. Her family was impressed. To them, it looked like fortune had come knocking at their door. Excited by the promises of wealth and security, Precious accepted the proposal. Soon, the village filled with the sound of drums and celebration as a grand wedding was prepared. But Sylvia was different. She was quieter, more thoughtful. She paid attention not just to words, but to actions. Not long after Precious's wedding, a young man named Chike came to Sylvia's family compound. He did not arrive with bags of riches. Instead, he brought a simple gift of kola nut and greeted the family with humility and respect. He spoke gently to Sylvia. He asked about her dreams and what kind of life she hoped to build. Most importantly, he listened. Sylvia saw something deeper than wealth. She saw kindness, she saw respect, and she made her choice carefully. Her wedding was small and simple. There were fewer drums, fewer gifts, and fewer people. But the smiles that day were genuine, and the joy in her heart was real. At first, Precious's new life seemed wonderful. Her husband's house was large and filled with expensive things. The walls were high, and everything appeared impressive. But slowly, the truth began to reveal itself. Behind those tall walls, Precious discovered that wealth does not always bring peace. Her husband's temper was quick and harsh. He spoke to her with anger and often insulted not only her, but also her family. He gave orders, but never support. When she struggled, he blamed her. When she cried, he ignored her. Sometimes his anger became threatening, and Precious found herself shrinking inside the very house she once believed would bring her happiness. Meanwhile, Sylvia's home looked very different. It was small and simple. Sometimes the roof leaked when the rain came. Sometimes food was scarce. But inside that little home, there was laughter. There was partnership. When Sylvia suggested selling vegetables and small goods in the market, Chike encouraged her. When he grew tired from long days of work, she stood beside him. They talked, they planned, they worked together. Slowly, their efforts began to grow. Years passed. The village began to notice the difference. Precious, once the most admired bride in the village, now walked quietly with tired eyes. The bright laughter she once shared by the river had faded. Sylvia, though not wealthy, became respected throughout the community. Her small market stall grew into a thriving business, and her home became a place where neighbors were always welcomed with warmth. One evening, during a village gathering, the two women met again under the same mango tree where they had once planned as girls. For a moment, they simply looked at each other. Then Precious asked softly, "Sylvia, how did you find happiness with so little?" Sylvia gently took her friend's hand and said, "At home, a home is not built by what person owns. It is built by who the person truly is." The elders sitting nearby heard her words and nodded in agreement. From that day forward, the village began teaching its sons and daughters a new wisdom. When choosing a life partner, do not look only at wealth or promises. Look at character, because the person you marry can shape the entire path of your life. And that is the lesson the story of Precious and Sylvia continues to teach even today. Thanks for watching.